definitely plays more into Tyron's hands being the higher seeded competitor. But we will see if EEEK can pull out something here. He does have some kingdoms that he has a better average in the back half of the run.
Yeah, I'm seeing that myself as well. It is very impressive that I can even see any there, and it shows just like how much EEEK has improved throughout the season. And he's managed to get very close to his own PV throughout the season. So,
and just to go to show you the quality of these competitors, they have had a combined 26 races and have died a combined 10 times. Truly incredible stuff.
yeah.
Tyron a little bit earlier to switch. Although I will note, coming up on left side, EEEK does have a better average, 11 out of 13 to Tyron's 9 out of 13.
Yeah.
And then EEEK with some difficulty getting the frog.
Yeah, just got there at a weird cycle, so the frogs were jumping. I will say that Tyron, I don't really know what he's been doing too much on his off time since the 56. He's kind of just been big chilling, which, like, I totally get. Like, it's good, but I don't know necessarily how much he's kept it going day to day.
So they both.
I mean, you can't forget muscle memory. It's in there. It is definitely in there. But how recent? It's hard to say.
That was not a 215.
Not a 215. It was really close to his league gold as well, actually. I want to point that one out. His league gold is just barely a 215. It was a 215.9, and that was a 216.2. Shoutouts to the live split plugin that both of these players are currently using.
And it looks like we got that fixed up, too, so great job to Matt C. for his continued work. Oh, never mind, he's manually updating it.
Both these players have their live splits open, and he is reading them in real time. So, good job, Matsy.
And good job to the players also. Quick programming note, we do have a third place match for you all that'll be taking place at 3 p.m. Eastern Time on Tuesday. So this is technically not the last match of the 90% League, although it is the one that counts. Successful DSS by both players, not a surprise.
I mean, they all count. They all get cash prizes. Or virtual money prizes that get wired over the internet.
This is true.
But,
Thanks to our friends at Urban Arts for helping supply the prize fund. I would tell you what the amounts are for winning, but I don't remember what they are.
I thought you prepared for this match. So did I. It's cool. The blame's on both of us. Give me a moment as I look it up.
Nice.
According to the challenge, it's $500 for first place, $250 for second, $150 for third, and $100 for fourth.
That's a pretty nice haul. $1,000 for a Mario Odyssey tournament.
Mm-hmm.
Test clip upcoming, and Tyron's got it. EEEK also gets it, although a little trouble capturing the moon. Notably, EEEK now perfect on chest clip, 11 out of 11. We're going to be heading into Sand Kingdom here. As a reminder, everybody, we do have that new clipping through the wall route at the end of this run. Or at the end of this kingdom, excuse me. And both players have been putting it in their arsenal since it was first unveiled.
Tyron, of course, being one of the first to implement it, given that they wanted every inch they could get for being able to get that 56 that they now have.
Yeah, I remember. I mean, I think we all remember just a couple of weeks ago when a sub 10 sand was considered godlike. Now, both of these players' PBs have well under 10 minutes for their sands, and obviously they'll be going reverse town here as well.
Yeah, the idea of getting sub 10 sands in every run is now just a thing that happens at the level of 57 runners.
EEEK, as you can see, still looking for his first career 57. Maybe today's the day. Certainly, with Tyron knocking on the other side of the screen, he's going to have to be playing at his absolute A game.
Both players using reverse town, by the way.
Not surprised there. It does. Oh, EEEK with
little mess up around a bird.
It uses that cube as a backup.
It's a good backup to use. Once you've captured the bird, the moon isn't going to go anywhere, so you just got to jump back up for it. Part of a thing that might concern me is, I don't know if Tyron has looked into Darker Side yet, because I know that was what he was potentially looking at next, and a category switch can also cause some confusion to your muscle memory. So I don't know if he's picked that up yet, and if he has, that can definitely cause issue, especially in the later kingdoms where you revisit them multiple times, and you could potentially forget which one you're on.
I was very pleased to learn recently that the frog skip on Darker Side got patched out.
Yeah, that was a very early patch. But I used it. I have 100% on my file, and I never beat Darker Side. Legitimately.
Yeah, I didn't find it all that difficult. I feel like I beat the second half basically sight unseen. It was not... Like, honestly, the big pain point for me was like the boxes coming out of the wall. I guess that is the second half, and then
Yeah, the problem for me was the second half. Like, I wanted to beat it legitimately, and the problem was, like, without use... Oh! EEEK clipping back inbounds during the platform clip route. Gonna have to answer the Sphinx's question instead of... Yeah, this is the only real way of backing this up. I can't even think of it where else he would have gone.
Neither can I, but...
It's pretty much the only option you have there.
Yep. High risk, high reward.
I mean, kept the level head and did what they needed to do, but that is going to be a significant time loss for Eek and Sand Kingdom. I was just talking about how it's very easy for people to get sub-10s in Sand now, but that is definitely going to result in a like 10-2x over here for Eek. I will note that Tyron got a 10-0x for that Sand, so no sub-10s today, but that was probably due to the fact that we also had some, no DSS happening in Cascade.
Yeah. 10:07 without DSS is insane. Although it is slightly less insane with the the new route, I guess. Moving on to Late Clip, we have 12 out of 14 for Tyron. That's got to be far and away the best percentage. By comparison, Eek has 11 out of 41. So Tyron has only missed 2 throws on Late Clip this entire season. And now he's missed 3. I don't know if that counts as 2 fails or just 1 there, but a rare non-first try.
From what I understand, it once they roll forward, that counts as an attempt.
Okay. So that was 1 attempt by Eek then?
Yes.
I was a little bit worried there he wasn't going to get the flag, but he did. So pretty standard stuff from here on out. Late Clip, obviously one of the shorter kingdoms in this game.
Yep, I'm just looking for what lines they choose to use, because there is that invisible time save that has been talked about so many times that can happen here. And I do think Eek actually got the better line with their Dory. But those are minor things.
Apparently any throw counts, so Tyron getting credited with the 3rd try Lake Clip. 2 misses in the entire season up until today, and then 2 misses right now. Crazy stuff out of Tyron. I'm eating a ham sandwich, if you must know.
I didn't even notice. Sarah had to point it out, because he heard us talking about it before the match. But you were doing a very good job of concealing it.
Thank you. Discord's noise suppression really helps in that case.
Yes. And push to talk. I have definitely eaten some cheese and crackers or some hummus and chips while, in between me just muting my microphone, because I can do that. I'm fired for eating hummus. I'm going to consider that a hate crime.
Getting started here on our Wood Kingdom. No surprise, Tyron perfect on both Nut Clip and Wooded Out of Bounds. Eek finding himself 12 out of 13 on Nut Clip, 12 out of 15 on Wooded Out of Bounds. Remember, if you fall but stay out of bounds, that does count as a fail, but obviously you get a second attempt to try to right the ship, so to speak. Oh, is this the taxi background? I hope it's the taxi background.
It does look like we're in Metro Kingdom.
Yes, it's a taxi background!
I don't know why you're so excited about this one. The Sand Kingdom background is way better. Anyways, we're into Nut Clip now. Tyron looks to be successful with theirs and should be going into Stravos climb now. Looking good.
Good stuff.
Eek on their attempt. It's so hard. I think they're good.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
It was a close one.
Yeah, it's more on the animation than anything else. It's some weird stuff. Having some trouble getting this moon out of bounds. It's tough to just inch your way off and not actually fall too far down, and then also not to clip back inbounds with the moon. Out of bounds movement is probably some of the hardest stuff in this game.
FRS upcoming. Oh my goodness, Tyron bonked, and he's going to take death number 5 on the season. In his 13th match. Did he get the flag? He did. And folks, that is why you get the flag, because it really didn't lose all that much time. Only a couple of steps. Meanwhile, if he didn't get the flag, EEK was going to be in a giant lead.
It is still going to cause the gap to close quite a bit. It is, if anything, a good omen for EEK.
These are the kind of breaks EEK needs to catch today.
I will point out that nerves are very much a thing. This is a thing that has caused EEK to get where he is, keeping a stable head while all his other opponents succumb to the nerves that are here in a very real competition with a very real prize.
That's true. EEK with a 7-4 record in the regular season, although a great points total. It's hard really to quantify it, but there were 3 players at 7-4. EEK was the best of them.
Tyron looking good for a 1.5 cycle here. Just has to finish it up.
There we go.
Nicely done. Oh, EEK gonna mess up the first half of it, unfortunately. Let's see if they're still fast enough to get a 2 cycle in this, though.
Tyron very pleased with his wooded, as you can see.
That is sarcasm. I'm pretty sure it's sarcasm, given that there was a death.
Oh. Great recovery there by EEK in the pipes. How much is that gap going to close? It was 17 3/4 heading into this kingdom.
EEK didn't fully capitalize on it, I do want to point out, given the amount of mistakes that they made just in the pipe section. I feel like the rest was pretty stable, but it was uneasy. And then it was like a little bit uneasy, and then EEK with the pipe section just made it stay uneasy. And as a result, yeah, we pretty much... The gap has stayed the same almost between kingdoms.
If anything, Tyron picking up a couple seconds. It's now 20 seconds. So EEK absolutely not capitalizing. Tyron only leaving a couple seconds on the table, but EEK unable to take advantage.
I will point out we aren't even approaching the sections yet that really cause trouble for players.
Oh,
we have just hit the first 4 kingdoms, which honestly, to a lot of players, is the relaxing part of the run. I think that's why this category speaks to so many players, that like people pick it up, is because the early game is not too bad. Like it actually, like, if anything, this game scales up with difficulty as the run progresses. Like it actually has a good curve like that.
Yeah, there's a great difficulty curve in this game for sure, and I think also the accessibility, the visibility of this game, obviously being the newest Mario platformer, You know, a lot of players may not want to pick up a, say, Super Mario 64, which is technically more popular, but is a significantly older game. Certainly, it's a lot harder to access an N64 copy of Mario 64. A lot of newer players opting to go emulator. I used to play on Virtual Console when I speedran that game.
Right. And I am looking right now at Tyron's movement here, and there are some nuances in the lines that he's choosing. It's not as competent as I have seen in the past with him. He made almost like a semicircle as he went towards the butterfly. He recovered it and made himself stay alive, but it's definitely wavering, and so it's not fully there, and he needs to be able to keep the confidence going if he wants to have any chances of keeping this lead, especially in these kingdoms that can cause so much trouble if you make any mistake.
Yeah, if Eek's gonna have any kind of advantage, it's going to be in the late game. I mentioned that he has some better averages in a couple of the late game kingdoms. And we also see that there are some advantages that he has on tricks in some of these later kingdoms also.
And Eek is continuing to keep that stable head, playing exactly how he needs to. Keeping the gap the same throughout this whole run is so important. It doesn't, like, yes, he's got the distance now. Yes, he has some trouble in sand. But the key here is that he has maintained the distance throughout 4 kingdoms now.
Really speaks to the quality of player Tyron is. Not only a strong player at his top end, but a consistent player. A lot of top-end players aren't necessarily the most consistent in race settings. We've definitely seen a number of upsets over the years in various games because of that. But Tyron, super consistent, hit all of his times within only about a minute of each other.
You say that, and then I see things like this where he messed up the movement towards Night Metro. You didn't see it, but he messed up the triple-double in the start. The double-triple jump in the start of the kingdom, resulting in him having some awkward movement throughout. And yeah, I did not expect the Goomba to be where it was, but because of that, he's little trip-ups. You're not seeing it, but I said it. There are nuances in the playstyle happening right now, and Tyron is wavering a little bit.
I wonder if it's that darker side practice you had mentioned earlier.
Like I said, these kingdoms just don't allow you to make little mess-ups. We're at that point now where little things turn into giant losses. And one right here as well. If you get a weird cycle that you're not used to, this could really hurt Tyron. So let's see what he gets. Maybe to get some Joels in the chat.
And it is basically RNG what Patrick did. I will never learn all of the 22 patterns, but let's see.
I'll tell you that's not Joel. I know what Joel is. I don't know what all the other ones are, but I know what Joel is.
One singleton, but an easy cleanup by Tyron. Not taking any damage either.
Finishing it out before it even stops moving.
Yeah, he's gotta be super happy with that. And actually, I think this... No, that's a different pattern. Same exit spot, but a different pattern for Eek, who's gonna have maybe a little bit easier of a time cleaning it up.
I will say, by the way, that was actually a slightly different exit spot.
Okay. Yeah, like
it's very close.
I know these patterns. And given that the 80% league is over, I'm not going to start now.
I mean, but as you said before, what a better time to learn at the game than in the off-season?
True. Maybe I'll finally get that beach volleyball that has been eluding me for 5 years.
Oh, there's plenty of videos online made by speedrunners of how to beat that.
Okay.
So,
I'm thinking about just doing a stream of beach volleyball until I get it. Just to see if it takes me, you know, like the 8 hours that I probably have to put into it.
I wish you luck.
Thank you.
Both players getting drive-by on the scoot flip.
Very nice to see. And I think actually, okay, these players not perfect, but Tyron only with 1 miss, EEEK going with 2 this entire season.
I'll continue to point out that the distance has stayed the same since the last split.
Yeah, all things considered, EEEK leaving some time on the some time on the table in sand, clipping back inbounds on that newer route. Since then, it's been only a difference of 5 seconds, so EEEK has definitely stuck with Tyron.
Building our next trouble spot.
Tyron perfect on the season.
Yeah, first half working out well. Should be good for the cycles. Actually, it's always hard to keep track of the bull builds because it's above screen where it survives.
Definitely a veteran maneuver by Tyron. I didn't see the bullet bill, but he did. Of course, he's looking at this game on a significantly bigger screen. EEEK also with the bullet bill, maintaining a 12 out of 14 average. Tyron did get the hint art. I don't remember if EEEK got it or not, although I can tell as soon as his coin comes up, and it does. Or he did, excuse me, so neither of these players needing the hint art here.
Reverse People's Room coming up for Tyron. I expect him to go for it. He's gone for it multiple times. It shouldn't be actually as big of a risk as some other things that could have happened in this kingdom if he messes it up.
We do
that
love
triple jump looks good.
Around here.
Triple jump looks good. Should be fine. Never mind.
He's not fine.
He did not get high enough, but he won't lose any time for it. It seems like he will, but he doesn't lose as much time as you think he does.
I mean, he'll probably lose like a second, but all things considered, still easily getting the moon.
1 to 2.
The timer moon on time.
It is unfortunate, yeah. Would have been a very good day metro, possibly even getting a league gold if it wasn't for that mess up in reverse in the People's Room.
Yeah, he said it would have been a 403. His league gold is a 405. In fact, his PB is a 406. So that would have been a spectacular day metro. However, keeping that distance roughly the same.
I'll point out that based on crude math, I think he got a 408 for that day metro.
Yes.
Still a very good time. However,
for context, EEEK had a 409.
Yeah.
And change, so
keeping
with
it.
A 23-second lead. You are able to make up that time for sure. But EEEK is running out of opportunities. He's gonna, at this point, really need to play strong, and I would think hope for Tyron to make a mistake.
On the contrary, I feel like we're into the kingdoms that really caused the problem.
Oh yeah, absolutely. My point being is that if neither player makes a mistake from here on out, I don't think EEEK can make up 23 seconds in the latter half of the game simply on movement.
No, I am continuously looking for, not for EEEK to do something amazing, but for Tyron to do something uncharacteristic. And it is certainly possible given the gameplay that I am seeing from Tyron in this first half.
Yeah, we've already seen some uncharacteristic gameplay. 3 tries on Lake Clip for the first time this season, taking a death in Wooded. That's the only death of this match so far, although thankfully it didn't lose all that much time. Great
Tyron,
Tyron.
Yeah, Tyron able to make the snow clip work. EEEK gonna be heading towards it soon. And able to land the Typhoon Room cycle as well. Looks like a good snow clip for EEEK.
It is. And
Fantastic
a very
spiny
solid spiny manip over on Tyron's side. Tyron about to go for ICC, I'm sure. I'm being sarcastic.
That's... Are you joining the people in chat who are asking him to do carpetless? What is this?
Carpetless. Wrong game, guys.
EEEK messing up a little bit on spine manipulation. Thankfully, Cappy homing actually working the way it's intended to work.
Good work.
And that is one of the latest button presses I have seen. How did Tyron not dive into the void? I do not know.
I have definitely seen players dive into the void, but that was a difficult recovery. Tyron, realizing the button hadn't been hit, able to stop his momentum from spilling out there. That was interesting.
So many points of Tyron getting so close to a major mess up and saving it. These have happened so many places, but the problem is that you can't rely on yourself to be able to save it every time. You've got to keep the movement going and not have these small mess ups that you have to rely on luck like that. It is partially a lot of skill as well, but there is a little bit of luck when it comes to saving yourself in those situations.
Tyron, a very clean Stone Dram. A trick he has only missed once this season. In fact, remaining perfect on Snowcliff also. Little trouble getting the globe, but not really a time loss. Just another thing that you would notice, that the movement on Tyron not as elite as it has been in the previous runs. Although that 56 is relatively recent, if I'm not mistaken.
It is recent, but that was Wednesday, I think.
Oh.
It was midweek. It was. He's had a few days to celebrate. I'll give him that, but he was aware of this competition here. His big goal was the 56. If anything, this is just a little cherry on top. Doesn't mean he doesn't want it, though.
No, of course. That is a nice chunk of change. All things considered, I think you're going to end up having to do, what, 15 races? About an hour each. $500 total. That's, more than I make on an hourly rate. I'm pretty sure. I'm gonna level with you, I have no idea how much. I keep buying groceries and my card keeps working, so.
I will point out, I don't consider these hourly rates, considering the fact that these players have spent hundreds to thousands of hours on these games.
Yes, but they would have without this tournament. Maybe they would put in less hours.
That still doesn't justify it.
Yeah.
Not to say that this prize is not appreciated as it is, and I absolutely appreciate CCG for getting it, and for UA for providing it. I'm just saying that speedrunners work very hard to get the golds that they get.
Certainly true. And by the way, here's the Sand Kingdom background you adore so much.
Yeah, look at them. They're just vibing.
They are vibing. They're having a very good time.
EEEK gonna miss the clip out of bounds. That is gonna lose him some time, as Tyron was able to get it.
Yeah, about 6 seconds. Not what you need after losing 4.5 seconds from the last Kingdom, even with Tyron's mistake. The opportunity's starting to slip away. But if there's anywhere that you can lose a whole bunch of time, it's coming up in these next few kingdoms, that's for sure.
Yeah. It's a good coincidence that all the kingdoms that really can cause you to lose runs start with an L.
Lost, Luncheon...
Well,
I would argue Bowser and Moon also.
But yeah. But Luncheon can definitely give an L. I thought I was being clever, okay? Don't think about it too hard.
Lake, yeah. Lake, yeah.
Yeah, Lake Clip can have some trouble.
Especially if you screw up Lake Clipping after Rango. .41.5 seconds down the difference.
That does make sense. The time that you save from doing the fish dip route is significant. There is a reason why it was added so quickly by many players.
And players have definitely, although we have seen a miss over there by EEEK, we've seen players get really consistent at it. It was a trick added in 2022, I'm pretty sure. And it's something that the players didn't really have a consistent setup with at the get-go, but within these last couple of months, they figured out the double bonk behind the chest is the way to go. And then they've gotten pretty consistent at it. I believe Tyron's only missed it once this entire league. That's correct, 12 out of 13.
The thing that's never been consistent, though, is the movement around Luncheon Kingdom. There's so many spots of weird geometry that can just completely trip you up. And we did see it here with Tyron bonking on the rocks. But it can cause more it can cause more problems. I am really looking at post-Forks Room and the turnip movement. Like, that's really where I expect this to if it falls apart, that is where it will happen, is after Forks Room.
Certainly true. How many times, even in top-level play, have we seen runners just throw away the turnip? I believe it even happened last week in EEEK's match with LightRon. That was ultimately where EEEK, took a huge lead and never looked back. Tyron getting the heart in the Fork Room. Solid strat there. Does save a little bit of time.
Just a half second.
It's still cool.
It is still very cool. Tyron nailing the movement up to the turnip, but this is where it gets hard, is where taking this turnip quickly to the pot. Keeping it nice and simple.
Yeah, playing it pretty safe here.
Mm-hmm.
There are definitely more aggressive turnip strats you can go for, but Tyron with this big of a lead and having to do another race right after this. Bear in mind, we are best of 3 here in this championship match. I definitely think Tyron's way to go here is the safer strats. He even generally goes for 2 DSS in races, and given that he's this far off of his PB, I certainly would.
It's also something to consider is if these players are listening to us or not. I mean, it almost feels like Tyron isn't listening to us because he's, you know, playing like he is, like he has to, like, just keep everything good. Like, he doesn't know the distance perfectly. Like, he is just, you know, might have it on in the background. I wouldn't be surprised if he has it open in another tab or something, just on the other screen. But he's, like, fully concentrating on the game because I'm sure, because, like, of the stuff that he's seen in this first half of his playstyle, he wants to make sure that he doesn't get in his own head too much and wants to just play the game. Able to make the invisible jump work, and it's just now in the lava bubble room. Not really much else that can go wrong in this kingdom.
At this point, it's just Timer Moon, but I remember back a year or 2 ago, Timer Moon was something that runners would occasionally struggle on. Not anymore. I don't think I've seen a single, like... I think maybe there was, like, 1 death on Timer this entire tournament. Something crazy.
And Tyron able to make it work as well.
Yeah, not surprised. Eke into his lava bubble room. I think a late cycle there. That was...
Yeah, it was an odd cycle with the moving platforms. Able to adapt to it, though. I'd say we've kept the distance in this kingdom, but that is not a good sign for EEEK, as we are, you know, it grew from snow, and so we're now in the 40 to 45 second range of this gap, meaning that it's going to take a mess up in Bowser's. There's not going to be any real spots for Tyron to give anything to EEEK in these couple kingdoms until we get to Bowser's.
Since Night Metro ended, Tyron is playing within 1 second of his PB. So he's definitely turned it on in the later stages of this run. Heading into Ruined Kingdom now, I can't even think of any sweat strats that you could possibly go for in this kingdom. I know back in that infamous Doge mold back in the open, he went for the chest up warp or whatever.
Yeah, it's really just some small movement stuff that happens in this kingdom. It's important that, you know, a gold compared to just an average usually in this kingdom can be as large as 10 seconds for a lot of players. For these guys, it's only a couple seconds, but
right.
I'm just saying it, like, BTT-wise, compared to what these players can get on average.
I guess you would just have to be really early to get that first key.
Well, yeah, and just stuff before and after the boss as well that are important.
Certainly true. We need good movement getting into the wire to start this boss. Generally an auto-scroller once it starts. While EEEK is still on his second... Oh, okay, that was interesting. He didn't get credit for that first key. Not a problem, though. Can't remember the last time I've seen a failed cycle in Ruined, even commentating Division B in the Open. Speaking of the Open, though, I think there were, what, 74 signups total across the Open and the Any Percent League, and these are the very last two. So a giant accomplishment for these players, outlasting essentially 72 other players.
Yeah, it's been a long journey to get here.
EEEK pointing out that he has low battery on his controller, even though he charged it for 2 hours before the race. Hopefully he can get that sorted out, because it would be heartbreaking to lose a tournament because of a controller battery.
Tyron just barely making that jump.
On to shards now for Tyron. Lead going into this kingdom, I will get that for you. What is 50.5 seconds. Now, I believe a wall jump death would make up 50 seconds. If I'm not mistaken, that's how much a wall jump death loses. So, there are certainly opportunities in the Moon Kingdom to lose 50 seconds if Tyron were to have a Mario meltdown.
Right. However, Moon Cave Skip is something that's learned very early on.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of don't have a choice there.
So it's pretty hard set in their muscle memory, is what I'm trying to say.
Yes, but they're also going to be going for one wall, which is a significantly more difficult version of the wall jump.
Right, and newer in their muscle memory.
Yes.
Both players doing very well with their shards movement. And Tyron able to work through Sarbamba.
Yeah, both players here showing why they've made the championship. Harriet complete. Tyron will head over to Topper and EEEK with the roof drain. EEEK will also be on Topper.
Yeah, I kind of half wanted him to do this just to make it look like he's closer to Tyron than he actually is.
Wow, EEEK making up a lot of time here. He's only within a couple seconds of the world record holder Tyron. Just kidding. In all seriousness, EEEK hasn't made too many errors. I mean, a couple minor ones here and there, but otherwise it's just he's playing against Tyron and there's not a whole lot you can do.
Yeah. what ends up happening is you have to keep us on the here in the booth just have to keep a constant eye on Tyron, making sure that he keeps doing exactly what he needs to do to keep the lead.
Nice pipeless. Certainly showing why he's the world record holder there. Great movement.
Yeah, it was a perfect pipeless.
Some BTT stuff.
The setup might have been a bit slow, but once, after the moon, that was exactly what you wanted to do.
We go now to Mac. There aren't passes of Switch games yet, right?
Say again?
There aren't TASes of Switch games, right? Since I brought up BTT.
There are, but it's of smaller games. Games less complicated than this.
Still pretty incredible considering the Switch is only 5 years old.
Yeah. This game, I believe its task is about halfway done at this point.
Oh no.
It's getting there, but it's certainly not. It's not there yet.
Left side by Tyron to finish off.
Tyron yet again, somehow continuing to find the places to keep themselves in the game despite only barely getting there. The movement was a bit off on TA, and that's what he was commenting on there in the chat. I'm getting now confirmation in the chat that TAS is not even close to halfway done.
Place your bets on what gets done first. The 120 star task that's now been in progress for 10 years, or the Odyssey task. I'm betting it's the Odyssey task. Oh no, EEEK! Man, he was also going for a really aggressive target acquired, and that will pretty much put a bow on this match. Pretty much nothing EEEK can do at this point except hope for a pillar's death. Coming into Moon Kingdom, Tyron with a giant lead, and now at this point, Swag 2DSS on the table. He's gone for it in pretty much every race. He's successfully got it in 8 of his races.
I will point out the excellent vectoring done by Tyron so far.
No issues with the one wall. Just to quickly get some stats here, Tyron 12 out of 15 coming in. He'll now be 13 out of 16.
Missed the roll cancel, but it's not gonna matter. But it just shows what I said, that the nerves are there. He's not playing perfectly.
And could that open the door to a bigger mistake in the second race? Because Tyron does have to win another race after this, which certainly, given that he will only have to win one of the next 2, is a lot, more forgiving, but the opportunity to maybe take this to a decisive third game if the wheels start to come off in the second race. I'm doubting that Tyron is going to be very happy with this run, all said and done, even if it does 57, which it can still do. So we will see if Tyron can clear his head and get back to business in race number 2 to try to finish this off in a sweep.
EEK also going to be successful with a single wall jump, showing that EEK, honestly, throughout this whole match, has shown that they have definitely brought their A game.
Actually, EEK has a higher percentage on one wall, but only by 0.5%. Well, Tyron into the escape sequence. At this point, the only question is how aggressive is he going to be, given that EEK is still in the early phases of the Bowser fight. Came into this kingdom a minute 22 ahead at this point. Points irrelevant. The amount of time you win by irrelevant. Only that you win. He's setting up for it.
Doing the double jump, which is the much slower way of doing it, and he gets...
And not able to catch. Second attempt.
The second jump is the hard part of it. That's when you're amazed right going into the death, and 2DS is successful for Tyron on the second try.
Only a loss of a couple seconds. That'll be his 9th successful 2DSS in this league. I am confident that the other 11 players didn't get 9 combined. And now 57 very in reach, as he will only need like a 62 pillars, which I'm sure would be his slowest time of the league. And now a pillar's death would put EEK in the lead, but I'm seeing a very low amount of cat jams for a championship race. Bland tried, at least. So there will not be a pillar's death on Tyron's side, and so he is going to finish off a very strong time. It'll be a 57, I think it's still enough for 4X, yes. 57-48, and Tyron takes game number 1, remaining undefeated on the season, and is now only needing to win one of the next 2 races to take home the Any% League.
And Tyron going to have a sigh of relief for a little bit as he watches EEK finish out this match.
It'll be a mid-59 for EEK. It'll actually improve his league average. Now, we have certainly seen 1-0 leads blown before. In Division B of the Open, it was looking like Duck pretty much had it in the bag. He came in undefeated, the number 1 seed, a better time than a lot of players in Division A after improving his time, and then had a meltdown in the on the 2D skip, actually, failing that in both races 2 and 3, and J.A. Salmon was able to pick up the open win as EEK finishes up with a 59-21. Tyron with some DSS practice. Could he be thinking about going forward in race number 2?
It is a potential. It's something that could definitely give him a good lead in the start.
Yeah, if he gets this, I mean, that more or less slams the door shut on this tournament. Seems like he's mostly practicing the vaults up to the wall rather than the ribcage section. And I believe these players, I don't know how much of a break they're going to take.
According to what I'm seeing in the restream chat, seems like we're going to be taking a few minutes, not too long. Just, grab a quick beverage, some snacks maybe to get ready for match 2.
That sounds like a good idea. I was thinking about getting a little extra food on top of my lunch after that first race. So why don't you all go take 5 minutes also, and we will see you right back here in a moment as Tyron looks to finish up his undefeated season with a sweep of EEEK here on Championship Sunday.
Okay, I will stay here for a little bit, as I am being told by Saren to please don't leave. So I'll wait till AC comes back, because I do need to step away as well.
I was about to go, so why don't you spend this time telling the folks at home about the fine folks at Urban Arts?
Sure. So yes, the fine folks at Urban Arts, who did provide this $1,000 prize pool that these 2 players are working towards. Of course, 3rd and 4th place will get a portion of that prize pool as well. And yeah, Urban Arts providing it to us. They are a great organization, and they have helped underprivileged students get into STEM fields, into STEAM fields, for helping to get into video game classes, and just to show their creative side. Honestly, giving some really good portfolio work so that they can get into college. Fantastic organization. You can do !UA in the chat to learn more about that. And yes, it is a best of 3 match, so we will be going into a second race shortly. I will also point out that you can follow all of us. We are all continuing to do. We are going to all continue to do tournaments past this one, and it is definitely something that you should keep your eye out on. You can follow this channel to see how to see the matches that happen, to see other tournaments that will be happening. I myself will be continuing to commentate throughout all of these tournaments as much as I can, as much as the knowledge that provides me that I can as well.
Don't listen to Troy.
You can check out all of us, ! Commentator comms in the chat, ! Racers for these runners who will be doing all their own efforts to continue improving their skills in this game, and
Fake
maybe
news.
in other games as well.
All right, I'm back.
Cool. I'm gonna go. I was just telling people to follow us. I did a little bit of UA stuff, but we're just just keeping the chat company,
Yeah, I feel that.
yeah. Trade off.
Yes, I think Troy mentioned. I only caught the last bit of his monologue, but we are going to have more games coming. I think Saren had a document over on our Discord about all the different games that we're going to be doing here on the Cool Cat Gang on a yearly basis. So the Open should only be a couple months away. So if you are an aspiring Mario Odyssey player, you want to make it here to the big leagues, GoldenEye multiplayer tournament. Hey, I'd be down. I'd be down to commentate that. But lots more speedrunning content coming up here on the Cool Cat Gang channel. We're not just a Mario channel. We're gonna have a lot more stuff, but Saren has, spent a whole lot of time organizing, so we're gonna take a little bit of a break just to give Saren some relief. And it looks like we are gonna get started here in short order. Well, EEEK teaches us the secrets of the castle here in the Mushroom Kingdom. They're getting their DSTAs ready. Okay. I asked Saren if he wanted me to advertise anything, and he said, "Big things coming trademark." So, whatever that means. Saren needs to shoot the countdown, so it'll be only a couple more seconds before these runners get going on our screen. You having a desync issue? What happened to Tyron?
No, that countdown was for the offset.
Did Tyron just have time to go practice DSS during his offset?
The offset is almost 30 to 40 seconds with reverse down. So yes.
Fair enough. Well, we are about to get started on race number 2 of 3. Could this be the decisive race, or could EEEK be the first person to beat Tyron and send this to a decisive Game 3? We are under an hour away from finding out. I want to thank you all for joining us here on Championship Sunday on the Cool Cat Gang channel. Both pretty even to the switch. Yeah, and as Saren pointed out, big shots to Dansta. He has been a great organizer for the Mario Odyssey community. Dansta actually just got a PB, I believe, right before we went on air. So congratulations to him. Inching ever closer to his first 57. Pretty even topper fights, actually. Tyron took a decent-sized lead in the last topper fight, and now they're even out of the wire. I think they might be the tiniest bit desynced, so pretty even, all things considered.
Yeah, Tyron gets maybe a half a second of a lead.
No, it's EEEK with half a second of a lead. First lead of the day for EEEK. But we know what Tyron's about to do here.
I mean, at that, with the, given that we're not using plugins currently and it is just reading things, and it is also, I'm sure retiming has to go into account, it's hard to really consider the frames when there is that many variables going on.
Sure.
So I would just consider it basically a tie out of that kingdom.
Here we go. Tyron has not attempted DSS this season, but he is going for it when it counts. Gets up, rib cage, is successful, and Tyron gets DSS. Not that he needed to do it this season, but I mean, he just made that look effortless. I don't think he felt it at all practicing between races.
I understand the decision making from Tyron here. He's gonna mess up on the jump here with Dino Skip. Meanwhile, and I do want to point out my reasoning. It's just the Tyron's playstyle the whole way through on that first match was just not completely up to par. He was doing well, but a high 57 is just not what you need to be giving in this sort of run. You want to be able to keep the distance away, and so to know that, yeah, he was at a high 57 on the first match, and then fatigue sets in the second match, as I've seen in a lot of best of threes, you got to be able to rely on what you know you can do to give yourself that little bit of space that you can make those mess ups.
And also, mathematically speaking, you know you're a favorite in Game 3. If you lose this game, I mean, obviously the undefeated season's out of the picture, but realistically, you don't lose all that much. You just go to a decisive Game 3, where you're the favorite, having just won Game 1. So, Tyron, with basically nothing to lose in this race, going to throw everything at the wall to try to build as big of a lead as he can on EEEK. And obviously, now that he's hit that, is EEEK making DSTA? Probably.
It's going to be close. He did miss a trampoline jump. He was a little bit... He spent a lot of time in Cascade, more than most people would want to, of course.
Tyron going for race PB. I mean, he did just get DSS for the first time. His PB in the league is a 57.35.
And Tyron also did just get best exit of the league by half a second.
Yeah, unsurprisingly, counting that last race he just had, Tyron now has the full control of the top 10 times in this league. So certainly would be a deserving champion. Not that, you know, winning literally every race doesn't make you a deserving champion. Yeah, might as well go beat your best exits now. This is potentially your last chance to improve your stats. I want to pat
Not just his best exits, everyone's best exits. This is the entire league I'm talking about here.
True. But realistically, most of the best exits are going to be Tyron, I would think. Apparently, if I go to the best exits, which I don't know where that is.
It's on the first page, general stats.
Oh, I was just there. Yeah, Dansta had best exit on Cascade. That is no longer the case. And presumably it will be no longer the case in Sand, which also belongs to Dansta. And at that point, Tyron will now have complete control.
It's mainly because Dansta was the only player in the top half going for DSS consistently in races.
Quick side note, that was also the first sub-3 Cascade in the league. So, Tyron also grabbing a community sum of best. In fact, that was only a literally exactly 1 second off of the all-time sum of best. So Tyron just playing absolutely out of his mind right now. More or less reducing us to a podcast for the next 50 minutes.
So I had some popcorners between matches if we're going to go into podcast mode.
You know, I almost had popcorners with my lunch, but I went for my mid-round snack with some dessert that I made yesterday. Kind of invented it myself. I think I had something like it as a kid. But it's Cool Whip, lemon Greek yogurt. No, Popcorners is a brand of chip. Oh, Tyron! What a save. Using the levels geometry against... Oh, maybe not. Now having some issues.
Yeah, depth perception can be kind of odd at this angle.
Now looking safe.
There's only a little bit of area there, and he's trying to keep his camera in a specific way so that the moving platform is still in a good position, because he's gonna have to wait out the platform as well during this whole time. And he was able to keep it in a good spot. But he's actually clipping back in bounds. He's gonna have to try for the clip again. And now the players are in sync as they go out of bounds here.
What just happened? Now EEEK having a little bit of trouble grabbing the moon. Will he stay out of bounds? He clipped back in the first time, doesn't clip back in the second time. And so all of a sudden, Tyron's seemingly insurmountable lead is down to 1 second, and I guess we're gonna put a hold on that podcast.
Yeah, as they are frame perfectly synced on this moon grab. All the time that Tyron tried to give himself in Cascade, completely lost in just one kingdom.
Good thing for Tyron that he was able to land DSS. Because if he went regular route, EEEK would have a lead here. In fact, I believe he has a lead here anyway, because EEEK is the tiniest bit behind on the sync.
You wouldn't be able to tell, because those cutscene frames were identical.
It'll be a 0.64 lead for EEEK.
Like I said before, you can't even consider it at this point. If we're less than a second, it might as well be tied, considering the fact that we are dealing with human error at this point.
I believe we would do a live retime if it came down to it.
I mean, we still got another 40 minutes.
Sure,
40
but
to 50
I'm
minutes to go.
just trying to build drama here. Both runners with zippers ram, EEEK in a couple seconds of lead. Lake clip is going to be vital here. Remember, Tyron, 3 tries for the first time in the league. In his last
And
go.
a frame-tied lake clip as well.
Good grief. EEEK did take 2 attempts, but he was a little ahead. Moon sync.
I will point out, just by the way, that Dansta will be able to maintain his best exit in Sand Kingdom because of that. So Dansta still has a best exit.
And before Tyron throws the race, just so he has one more shot at getting rid of Dansta's sand split. Yeah, so Tyron's playing on simplified Chinese, EEEK's playing on traditional Chinese. I think there's like a 0.3 second difference or something.
It's small, but I don't think it's that small. Yeah, I got the languages mixed up, but as well. But it doesn't matter too much. The point, it matters in cutscenes. So that's really where, 9 frames quicker. Yeah, which is even smaller than 0.3 actually. I can't do math right now on the spot. No, it's about the same. It's about 0.3, but it's a bit smaller.
Yeah, like
Math is
0.15, I think. Which, I mean, if you ask a person on the street the difference between 0.15 and 0.3 seconds, they're going to be like, who are you? I'm calling the cops. Interestingly, Tyron took a lead in that kingdom, but again, by 0.28 seconds. So
they're just tied. They're
pretty
I don't
much.
even know why we consider second differences right now. They're tied.
Yeah, I mean, we would have to consider second differences on a potential retime. But at this juncture, who
so
cares?
Many factors. The language difference, especially, is also in there. And now we are into Wooded Kingdom, and as I said, these kingdoms do not get easier as we progress.
No. And bear in mind, EEEK did make a couple mistakes down the stretch. Tyron took a death in this kingdom, but still was able to take a lead. Saren roasting me. Well,
Saren, you're as surprised as we are, okay?
Yeah.
Don't act like you saw this coming.
Yeah, dude, I don't think anyone had Tyron with a 20-second meltdown in sand on their Super Mario Odyssey bingo card.
Oh, EEEK gonna mess up on their Sharana bounce here on the way up to the uproot.
The Tyron's going to take a lead. But not much of one. You still miss Nut Clip here.
I mean, it's the most significant one we've had since Cascade.
The most significant Nut Clip in a long time. Tyron gets it. EEEK also gets it. I was kind of scared after I made that whole big deal that EEEK was going to miss it.
We are approaching the trouble spot that Tyron had in the first match. Keep in mind, remember, Tyron did die in this kingdom on the first match.
It is the singular death in this match so far. Only Tyron's 5th death of the season in 14 races. So Tyron has not been on his A game today. So, with that DSS, yes, this is best of 3, so if Tyron wins this race, he will win the match and the championship. We are on the grand final here. That flag suddenly becoming very critical for Tyron. EEEK also going to get it. And Tyron much cleaner this time. Coming up on his FRS, and that's looking good. He's got it. EEEK also with his FRS. A mess up of that triple jump is going to lose about a second.
It's going to get eaten by the ledge there.
And remember, EEEK had a meltdown in pipes that caused Tyron, even with that death, to gain time here in the Wooded Kingdom. Last time through. But it certainly feels like EEEK has been a little bit cleaner on his movement. He's had a couple spots now where he should have lost a considerable amount of time. Instead, he's only a couple seconds behind Tyron. Maybe that's just me. Tyron with the faster pipes movement. Hi, Dory. Coming up on it, and that is a successful faster pipes.
It is actually, from what I understand, not quite as fast as what EEEK actually is able to get there.
Both these players are out of here in the Wooded Kingdom. Could this be the last time we see the Wooded Kingdom here in the Any Percent League? I guess technically not, because we have a bronze race on Tuesday.
Yes, we're guaranteed to see it at least one more time in this tournament. No real cloud boost to speak of for Tyron there, as he now has just about a 7-second lead. But no cloud boost either for EEEK, really. He's gonna get a small one. I'll give him that. It was bigger than Tyron's, but not really much of anything to really say like, whoa, what a cloud boost, or anything like that.
That's certainly true. Tyron with his hint art, EEEK with his, as they both head over their second phase. Everybody say hi to Jason from Urban Arts. If you're just joining us here in race number 2, after Tyron had a pretty decisive win in race 1. Tyron nailing DSS, but then losing 20 seconds in sand, heading over to the clip section. Not on the clip section, but after getting the Bill breaking the stone box, having some trouble navigating the fence. That largely the difference in this match, other than maybe a couple seconds that Tyron's picked up in Wooded. Now with an 8-second lead. For context, I'm pretty sure
that was so scary. I was holding my breath that whole time because that just did not look stable.
Good news for Tyron is that it worked, because at this point, any death and EEEK takes a lead. Something EEEK did not have in the entirety of match 1, although he has flirted with the lead here in match 2.
EEEK also having some trouble with the butterfly, I'll point out.
Players Sod Lost Kingdom so far coming up on Torpedo. Unsurprisingly, Tyron going for reverse. And he is going to get it with one box. Very nice.
Reverse torpedo also being chosen for EEEK. Looks good.
Also nailing it with one box. Tyron with his cage triple.
And then EEEK matching.
Tyron with his bridge skip. EEEK also going to get his. So 4 for 4 there on bridge skip so far in this match. Only the one death out of Tyron in game 1 in Wooded. So things pretty close here coming into Metro. Yeah, shout out to Wendy's.
And only a 9-second difference compared to the almost 25-second difference that we had in the first match.
It's certainly true, and Tyron had a couple of bobbles at Night Metro that allowed EEEK to get a little closer. If Tyron makes those bobbles again, EEEK might have a lead.
Looking a lot cleaner so far. As I say that, not able to get this first moon at the optimal movement. Was pretty good.
Oh no,
until that point. You're gonna have to retry this climb up the building.
Much cleaner by Tyron there on the vault up that second building. Was where he had the issues the first time. Ran into a Goomba. Which we have a Goomba heck out of Tyron.
And EEEK Goomba Fudge being done.
Tyron with a good first cycle there on his Mecha Wiggler. EEEK, because of that fall, is going to find himself a fair bit behind.
Yeah, it's time again for the Joel praise in chat. No Joel for Tyron.
Yeah, it's not looking like a good pattern. It's all the way up at the top, but it is kind of come down, takes a hit, one singleton in the middle, having trouble collecting.
Oh my god! No! Okay.
Yeah, I was about to say, leaving only the one singleton, he definitely had an opportunity.
That was not a good spot for it. Where the hitboxes cross.
Oh, this is a horrible cycle for EEEK. He has a singleton on the head and the tail, but able to convert.
Yeah. Both players not having great times with their patterns.
Rip in peace, the Arby's 5 for 5 deal. Yeah. Since we're talking about fast food. This is back in, like, the early to mid-2000s. They had the 5 for 5 deal. Now you pretty much get 1 for 5, I've heard. Unless you get coupons. I literally only go when I have coupons.
Damn inflation.
Pretty much, yeah. That said, I kind of would be down for some Wendy's. I hear they're piling strawberry Frosties. I'm pretty pumped about that. Dash Giant for both players, as Tyron going to head into the Girder Moon. EEEK just getting his bench switch. Yes, I also want a Strawberry Frosty. Sounds very hype. Off to Bullet Building. Both players successful in their first go.
And with EEEK nesting up in Night Metro, it has grown. The lead has basically doubled just in the one kingdom. Just in the one section, rather.
This is true. 16 seconds coming into Day Metro. Is EEEK gonna look for that up throw, and he gets it. Tyron both times a little bit more aggressive. trying to get that bullet bill. Eek waiting for it to come a little closer to him. Otherwise, two really spitting images of their first round of bullet bill. Bullet billing, excuse me. Tyron coming up on the roll off the top.
Oh,
Bonked by Tyron. Interesting.
Just a little movement mix-up. And not going to be able to get reverse people's room. The triple jump setup was just not there.
So, no reverse people's room in this final. A little bit disappointing, because I am a huge fan of that trick, as you all know by now.
It's very cool.
Yes.
Tyron commenting on the same thing. Just
Yep.
not working out for him today. It's been just us today, but we're always looking for more people. I'm sure with the other tournaments that will be happening, we'll always need as many people to help out as we can. At which point, volunteer in the chat if you are looking to help us out. Maybe join here, talk like I am right now, or to help out and keep the behind-the-scenes work working well as well.
We are on to the Snow Kingdom. 2 solid Snow Kingdoms last time around.
Distance is 20 seconds. It looks large, but is still smaller than what we saw last race.
Yeah, this is true. This is where it started to get out of hand. Coming soon up to Eek as Tyron makes his way through the Typhoon room. Oh, Eek's gonna miss no clip there. Got it first.
Not gonna lose him too much time.
Great spiny up there by Tyron. Spiny attempt for Eek. Much better than his last spiny attempt. Tyron, no scares there on the Goombas this time. A very interesting Goomba stack last time we were here. But not as exciting of a Snow Kingdom as we had in the first race. Oh, I spoke too soon!
Eek could be fine, but that
oh,
is
wow! Great
such a close, yeah, such a close call.
Didn't realize that he would be able to clip back up there, but able to grab the side. It's basically what happened to Tyron in game 1. But both players now able to save, not hitting the button. Well, not hitting the button straight away, I guess I should say.
Able to make Snowdram work. On Tyron's side, EEEK gonna be coming to it shortly.
Yeah, Tyron perfect on Snow Clip, excuse me, 14 out of 14. Only one miss of Snowdram. EEEK coming up to his Snowdram, and it is good. So as we head on out of the Snow Kingdom, we head to Seaside. Not really a place where there's a whole lot of time loss potential, but luncheon just on the horizon after this kingdom. Oh, I think I've been fluctuating distance to and from my mic. I'm sorry.
I mean, so have I. I mean, it's only natural. I mean, both of us are on edge right now, just because we know that this lead that we see from Tyron could break at any second.
We certainly saw that in the Sand Kingdom. As we head into the Glass Palace. Tyron very good at this clip, staying well out of bounds. Staying out of bounds for the time. Remember, EEEK did not get this clip in the first race.
Not able to get it this time either.
Yeah, 0 for 2 today. Bit surprising, as he has been decently consistent at that trick this season. And that is going to increase Tyron's lead going into luncheon. We have seen interesting meltdowns out of Tyron already today. With his fish clip. But as you can see, starting to find himself quite a ways behind Tyron. His time is starting to run out. I'm getting his luncheon started very nicely. Coming up on Spirit Skip. Not a super difficult trick for either of these players. Obviously, for less experienced players, it's quite a bit difficult, including players in this league that didn't go for it.
I mean, Tyron makes it look easy.
Well, yes, Tyron makes everything look easy, but moreover, that specific part of Spirit Skip is, or Spiritless is not the most difficult part, as we see Tyron with an interesting bonk there on the mountain. The more difficult section, of course, coming later on with the Invisiblock jump and certain other movements. EEEK. Not going to get it with the Pong. I think it's savable. It is.
It can be, but it's not saved this time around. Gonna
second.
jump into the loading zone and have to fight Spewart. That is a large loss.
That could more or less be all she wrote, as EEEK starting to see his title chances slipping away. Ultimately, though, he pretty much had to clip back in, because otherwise he was going to lose a lot more time than Spiritless saves. But now we're going to see a divergence of routes, and things not looking too hot. Part route in Forks room for Tyron. As we come up to turnips for Tyron.
Will be kind of difficult to understand the difference that we got going on here, as they are now in different routes for this kingdom.
Tyron apparently with enough time to drop an emote into chat. I can't tell what that's of. Is that like a camel or something? Or a ostrich?
It's a bunny. It's a bunny dancing. It's funny.
Oh, I see. His head is in the middle. Okay. Well,
Yeah,
I thought
he's
his head was
waving
what
his
was on
hand.
the left. I thought what would be his right hand was the head. And then his head was the body. It's a very wide... It's a very wide emote, okay?
I mean, it's in the name of the emote. It is wide.
Well, I didn't see the name because I'm looking at chat from the screen.
I'm not saying you made a huge mistake. But it's a bunny.
Well, now I know. Tyron twice in a row getting 2 Invisiblocks. As EEEK finishes up his fork room. Although, if anything else, we are going to get one last chance to see the world's easiest obstacle course this season. As he grabs the hammer bro. For the record, we looked this up earlier in the season. It's still a hammer bro. He just throws frying pans instead of hammers.
I'll still call him a pan, bro.
Pan bro is definitely cooler.
Happy Pride Month.
Ah! Cool Cat Gang all for Pride, I would assume. I haven't specifically asked.
Considering I'm still talking, I think we're good.
Yeah. I am not sure how many gaming organizations are out there that aren't cool with Pride. Generally, gaming an extremely inclusive community.
Oh, EEK having a little bit of trouble getting up to the meat.
Let me see if I can dust off my ninja commentary here. Next up on the course is EEK, as he takes on this difficult course. First, we'll have to take on the vegetable steps, and then the treacherous corn roller. Never mind. I most certainly did not do that, Jason. I'm just saying that technically nobody has ever specifically mentioned to me that Cool Cat Gang is cool with Pride. However, given certain context clues, I would assume that that is a yes. That was my point. Anyway, trans rights are human rights. EEK finishing up Luncheon Kingdom as Tyron getting started on his ruined. And around here, not only are we prideful of LGBT rights, but we are also very prideful of our partnership with the urban arts, and that, friends, is a championship level segue. Of course, if you're not familiar with the urban arts by now, I mean, this might be your first race. I guess if it is your first race, I have really bad news. Because this is the end of our season here.
But the last race still.
Yeah, that's true. We do
got a third place match happening in 2 days.
Yeah, this is true. Make sure you tune in for that Tuesday at 3. This is also where we remind you to. This is also where we remind you to follow the runners. But again, if you're watching the championship of the Any Percent League and you're not following these runners, what are you doing?
There's still quite a fight going on here. See who the next 57s will be. It is very likely that the top 10 of Super Mario Odyssey on speedrun leaderboards will all be 57s by the end of the year.
Oh,
it's
for
not
sure.
out
I was
of the question.
thinking in the next couple
and
months.
EEK is one of those 10.
It's going to be Jambo and LightRon. Wait a minute. Not Jambo. Sorry. It's BusterDoggy and LightRon. I'm sorry. Jambo and Stravos both were defeated in the first round. No, I cannot do the rest of commentary in a Macho Man Randy Savage voice, because then I would have no voice.
Also, we already lost a few viewers from talking about Pride Month. I don't want to lose more viewers by trying to do bad impressions.
First rule of Pride Month is don't talk about Pride Month.
Ooh, Tyron messing up.
Oh, messing up again.
Yeah. No, I absolutely would always talk about it. I'm just making a joke.
Yeah. Commentator's going from extremely based to extremely unbased.
I mean, he missed our conversation talking about Pan Bros, so that's part of it.
Yeah. Context definitely required in this situation.
Yeah. You know I'm for it. I wear the LGBTQ tag on my stream pretty regularly, along with the ally tag.
I did not realize there was an ally tag. I will start applying that on my stream.
Good stuff.
Tyron continuing on to shards after some early mess-ups, and one last chance this season to look at some taxis. Quickly, there was a 1 minute 18 second difference between these players heading into this kingdom. Actually, I should note, because of that last race, EEEK previously had the better average on Mech, but because he messed up Mech pretty badly in the last race, Tyron now with the better league average. Thought I'd point that out. Pretty interesting. Tyron went Harry first last time. Will he go Harry first again? He will. Again, we know how much you guys care about it, even though it does not make any time difference. Ooh, EEEK with a bonk! And hit by the bomb. Starting to melt away time as the opportunity is getting slimmer and slimmer. Going to... Oh, misses birdless, and then bird on bird violence. On his topper fight, actually, even though EEEK was closer during the early and middle game of this race, further apart at this juncture in the second race because of EEEK having some Mario meltdowns.
Yeah, it really shows how much time Spiritless Luncheon saves. EEEK having some trouble during the Topper fight, having to search for Topper.
Oh, jeez. And Tyron also not going for Pipeless. I wonder if after his sand meltdown, if he's just going to play it super safe rest of the way. Just take home the win.
Would certainly make sense. He has the lead right now to make movement just safe and not be doing anything crazy from here on out.
For those just joining us, Tyron getting his first DSS of the entire season here in race number 2. We are on a best of 3, so Tyron with the win would win the championship. Notably, he ended up having a 20-second time loss in sand, made this race pretty even for a couple kingdoms. But unfortunately, EEEK has just lost a considerable amount of time in these last few kingdoms. A 15-second time loss in Day Metro. Excuse me, in because it's offset. So a 15-second time loss in Seaside, and then an over 30-second time loss in Luncheon, and that has pretty much been all she wrote. Oh, a miss of Topper acquired, but staying on the fin. Tyron going to play it safe here. Now getting Topper. That was a dangerous situation. Getting his multi-moon. A 57 throw he's mentioned. Still technically possible, especially with a first try of 2DSS. I don't know if he'll go for it at this point.
It's actually, like, barely possible. He'd have to match his golds at this point.
So you're telling me there's a chance. Needs to beat Kamsov by 2 seconds. Alright, so Tyron gonna finish off this season with a 58, barring a throw. EEEK going to be looking for top required after not getting it last time, and he was way off. Also going to be landing on the... Actually, no, he landed on topper. That was interesting. So some adventurous toppers here to finish out. I'm going to come up to his one wall jump. No issues for either of these players here last time. None for Tyron here. Final fight. So, barring a Pillar's death, Tyron going to go undefeated this season in 15 races, just going to show the absolute level of dominance that Tyron has had this season. A low time of like 58.5. There's actually an outside shot that this could be his lowest time of the season in the race that clinches the perfect season. I think we might have lost Troy.
You have not. It's just there's not. I'm just looking for my opening, and there's very little more to say right now. It's just Tyron making his way down to escape.
At this point, the only real question remains, is he going to try to slam dunk it home with the 2DSS? And he's lining up for it. Looking not good. Second attempt.
So close to getting a first try on there. But it is going to look good for the second attempt on the 2DSS.
Two tries on 2DSS. Man looking to clean this up 2-0. At this point, a Pillar's Death might not even do it. Really slamming the door shut, even though this is going to be a mid-58. Again, I just want to emphasize, I noticed this in the open, but I didn't want to call attention to it. Tyron's worst time in this league was a 58-41. EEK's best time in this league was a 58-48, so it was always going to be a massively uphill battle for EEK. And also, Tyron has the only times better than 58-27.5. Or I guess, so Jambo has 58-27-47, Tyron 58-27-43. Tyron is now going to have complete control of the top 11 times in this league with what ends up being a low 58.
Only 3 seconds off from EEK's PB. Sorry to
a
take out your
season
thunder.
of dominance complete. Tyron, the winner of the Any Percent League. Congratulations to Tyron, 15-0, the 11 best times, and the world record holder slamming the door shut here in a sweep. We're gonna bring these runners in. These are not the way EEK wanted to end his season. He knew it was a massively uphill battle, but certainly would have liked to keep these races a little closer, especially with Tyron playing his second race within EEK's PB. In fact, as I noticed, it might not even be a sub-hour for EEK. Actually, it should be a sub-hour for EEK. One last chance to get your cap jams in this season, unless you watch the third place race on Tuesday, I'm just realizing. Should be good. There we go. EEK is going to complete the sub-hour. Just not enough on this day. However, second place for EEK. He'll be taking home 250 smackaroos.
It's not a sub-hour, by the way.
Oh, well. An hour and 2 seconds. So our congratulations to both of these runners. They will be in just a moment. Again, thank you to Urban Arts for supplying that prize money. Again, folks, third place match Tuesday, 3 o'clock between BusterDoggy and LightRon. That's going to clean up this season. Just to give you a brief read, I wanted to give congratulations out to Stravos, Danstead, Jambo, and Psionic for making the top 8. And big thanks to Speed, Shemcat, Sledge, and Triple X for rounding out our league. We've been going here for about 4 months strong to clean up this league, and it has been a blast. Troy, I've enjoyed commentating with you. I think I've commentated more with you than I have with pretty much anyone else combined.
That sounds right.
Also, big thanks to Saren for being our community organizer and restreaming most of these matches, as well as Matsy for his continued tireless work on stats. We have an awesome stats sheet that really helps us here in the booth, so big ups to him for his continued support. And yes, get your Drakes out for Saren. He doesn't like the spotlight, but he deserves it after putting on this this great league as we bring in our top 2 Mario Titans of the season. Congratulations to you both.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
I guess we'll start with Tyron. no DSS this entire season, and then going for DSS in the second race. What did you decide to go for it?
I don't know. I just kind of wanted to do it like once, because I mean, I would not have done it if I lost the first race, because DSS is a pretty big time loss if you mess it up at the beginning. But since I won the first race, I just wanted to get a good cascade if possible, honestly. And then I don't know what happened inside. That was weird. That was.
Yeah, that was gonna be my next question. Kind of a meltdown in sand. You said you didn't know what happened, but you were able to reset. Is that just veteran presence? Something you've, like you're obviously, the number one player in this game. Was it just veteran presence to be able to clear your mind there?
I don't know actually. I don't even know what I've fought. I was just so confused that I don't think I even thought about it too much.
Fair enough.
I did not know what happened. Like, I've never messed it up like that. And then like I had like multiple input drops while trying to like go back up, and then I bonked, and then what? Like my brain just melted. I don't even know. And yeah, like I lost 30 seconds there. That was pretty sad. Like just that one mistake, like that would have been like a 57, And then for the rest, I think I played good, except right at the end where I don't even know what happened. I lost 30 seconds in BM as well. So yeah. But other than that, I think I played very good. I mean, I got a 57 the first race, and I had fun at the end of the day. So, and I won, so can't complain at all.
Yeah, that was the important part.
Yeah. And congrats to EEEK for getting to the finals. That's pretty dope.
Expand.
No problem, bro. Now you played good, apart from lunch, and like everything else was good. So, yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, EEEK, I'm not sure how aware you were that it was a very close race for a while there in the second race. How much were you paying attention to the difference between you and Tyron?
I mean, it was like kind of close, I think. Not like super close. Like he was still like 10 to 20 seconds ahead, I think.
In like the very early kingdoms, you were leading out of sand.
Oh, okay, yeah. But then like in mid game, even then I assumed that like even if I played well, I'd probably lose. So I wasn't even like too nervous or flustered. I was just like, you know what, I'm just gonna like play as good as I can and hope for the best. I try not to focus too much on like the lead. But yeah, at the end of the day, I was kind of right. So I lost, but it's fine.
You were the number 6 seed coming into this league, third in the regular season, now finding yourself second, so lots of improvement being shown. Overall, how do you feel about your league performance?
I think I did decent overall. Like, honestly, I got a little lucky, with like how certain matchups played out. So I'm not really complaining. I played well and I got lucky, so overall, I'm happy.
Plus 250 easy.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, thank you for hosting the tournament. Always fun to participate. Smile. Thank you. And thank you for Urban Arts for sponsoring and providing the prize money. That was awesome.
Big thank you to Urban Arts. I'm sure we're going to be learning about them just to...
Also, shoutouts to Saren. He does a lot of work. Shoutouts. Thank you for all the work you do. You do a lot.
True.
Absolutely right. One last question before we go for you two. Any percent league now wrapped up. Looks like we're going to have a bit of an off season for any percent, although there will be more Cool Cat Gang content coming very soon. So make sure you guys stay tuned to our social media feeds just for a quick plug. But with any percent wrapping up here, Tyron, obviously, the perfect season. EEEK with a very strong performance, finishing second. So with both of you having a lot to be proud of, my question is, what's next for you guys? Starting with Tyron.
So I haven't been playing the game for like the past week or so. I've been taking a break, but yesterday I started practicing Darker Side, so I'm gonna be doing that next. Hopefully for sub 3 hours. I don't know how long that will take, but eventually I'm sure it will happen. Plus, other people are also starting to play again, top runners for Darker Side, so I'm excited for the competition. Can't wait.
What about you, Week? What's next?
I'm just gonna try to get 57. Hopefully, it won't take too long. I don't know. We'll see. And then after, I'll probably do Darker Side as well, because Darker Side's a really fun category.
Facts.
I don't know, Saren. It seems like we need to get a Darker Side tournament going, or a Darker Side, at least like a big race or something. That'd be a lot of fun.
12-month league. Here we go. That would be so long.
That's why I suggested maybe just a race, and we just switch back and forth between these.
Something closer to a live format, like a break the record format might work out. Well.
Yeah, maybe.
LTA, yeah.
Darker Side best of freeze. Good idea.
You say that, but somebody's going for an 1862 soon. So
yeah, but it's one person.
yeah, that's pretty rough. Certainly not something I would go for. Frankly, I've been sitting here for 2.5 hours, and I'm kind of ready to go enjoy some of this sunshine today. So I will let you guys go. Thank you again. Enjoy the prize money, and thank you very much for participating in this league.
Thank you for letting us join. Smile.
Yeah,
great commentary.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, Troy, any closing thoughts before we go?
Just that it's been fantastic to be part of this. And I hope to see some great stuff coming out from CCG in the future.
My sentiments echoed as well. So that does it here for the Cool Cat Gang. Thank you all for watching, and until next time, cats, stay cool. I just thought of that right now. It was that was pretty good to finally pull that out with like 5 seconds to go in the championship.